So where is everybody?
I don't know, they must have hung up, tired of waiting. Let me write them another.
Well, who was on? I thought it was 5:30.
Me too, I send them your. Oh, Walter says 5 minutes, please. I sent your message, exactly. I didn't write it, I copied it, and it said 5:30. Okay, I'll tell Alan and George. Let me call Alan. What are we doing today? 72 or
Oh, we're going to, we,
which one was it?
okay, we left one of the blot, we left in the,
What was it, 67 maybe?
yeah, I think 67.
All right. Hi, Jorge.
Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás ayunando?
Hi, George.
Más o menos. Más o menos.
Más que menos, que lo
No,
siento.
I think we're on 57 Ahmed Bays.
Oh, okay.
Or you're making up the daf that.
Yeah, the one that, which has to do with Tisha B'Av.
Yeah, with
Otherwise you
Tisha.
can't learn.
Yep. Okay, going
Yeah.
back then.
I think we're on 57B.
Okay.
Well, let's get everybody on. Let's get everybody on.
Yeah, let me. Alan?
We were all chatting. Everybody was just.
I wish somebody would have called me because I made it at 5:30 because I wasn't sure I was going to get home on time, but I did. So
How do you do when on Tisha B'Av?
I didn't
Working.
work. I went into the office at 1:00.
Oh, you're like me.
I was in
That's what
shul.
Yeah,
I was
I
in shul till noontime.
yeah. I've changed my ways. I used to make it a full day.
Yeah, you can sign up now.
Harold,
Ernie's up.
Harold, I'm teaching now. If you
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
Harold's getting on.
And Alan is getting on, and Walter said 5 minutes, so he's probably be very quickly on.
What about Kenny Alter?
Oh, I didn't call
I'll
him.
let him know. I'll let him know. Okay, coming on. Okay, because I'm going to start soon. Yeah, but because I wasn't sure I would get home early. Okay.
Oh,
George-
Mr. Adach.
Mario,
Yeah,
call Johnny. Call Johnny.
No, George was at
Johnny.
5. George was at 5. And he says
George
he's
is
gonna
on
be
now.
5.
George
Okay.
is on.
Okay.
I saw that they wanted to go early, so I'm ready.
I didn't know.
Um,
Okay.
I'm
Mario,
ready.
You have Kenny. You have Kenny's?
No, Kenny's not here yet.
Here
So
we go.
What page now are you on?
We're on Nun
Sí, Johnny,
Zion
van a
Amud
empezar
Beis,
ahora. Daf.
57B.
Ahora a las 5:30, ¿no?
No, ahora.
Kenny? No, I'm teaching. I'm going to start now because I came home early. Is that okay? Yeah, come on now. That way, because I'm home and they all were on, so we'll do it a little earlier. No problem. Okay, Kenny's on. Okay.
Good.
Nun Zion Amud Beis.
With Bart.
Here's Johnny. That's good. Here's Harold. Here's Walter.
Johnny.
57B.
I hope everybody is having an easy and meaningful fast.
Yeah.
Nun Zayin Amud Beis, Amar Rav Chiya, we're allowed to, this is part of the Gemara in Gittin that you're allowed to learn on Tisha B'Av. Amar Rav Chiya, and we left this, we didn't learn this because we knew we would need it to learn it on Tisha B'Av.
Can you, where are we going again?
Nun
Where are we?
Zayin Amud Beis.
Noon sign on the base.
Where are we? Nun Zion Amud Beis?
57B, correct. That's where we left off. And we left this blot, Nun Zayin Amud Beis and Nun Ches Amud Aleph for Tisha B'Av. Tomorrow, we'll learn at 8 in the morning. If that's okay with everybody. They're okay with everybody? Or
I can't.
Yeah,
I
that's
have to-
fine.
I have to ask my barber.
is the afternoon better for everybody?
No, fine.
No,
8
8
is fine.
o'clock, 8
Just
o'clock.
kidding.
Okay.
Amar Rav Chiya bar Rav Yisrael ben Korcha. Sachli zokin echad ma'anshe Yisraelayim. One of the elders of Jerusalem spoke to me, Bevika Zu, in this valley, Harag Nevuzradan Rav Tabachim Asayim V'achas Asrei Ribro. Nevuzradan, who was the chief of the butchers, the murderers, killed 210 times 10,000. That's 2.1 million people.
Is it Kuzma?
Oh,
2.1
There
million
was-
people. 2.1 million people.
there were so
What's
many
that?
Jews then?
It's not a Kuzma. It's not an exaggeration.
It sounds like it. I'm not sure that we had such a population at that time. Uvishalayim Harag. Remember, this isn't the time of Nebuchadnezzar. You're talking about 586 BCE. So
There's a possibility, 940,000 people in Yerushalayim is a possibility.
no, this is 2.1 million people.
Yeah, no,
No.
but that's the whole of Israel, but they're talking about in Yerushalayim, 940,000. It's possible. Maybe it's a Kuzma, I don't know.
Uvishalayim Harag Tishim Barbariba 11 achas on one stone. Ad Shahalach Dama V'Naga B'Dama Shel Zechariah. And we're going to see the story soon. That blood ran and it mixed with the blood of the Navi Zechariah, who the people had killed. L'kayim Hashanamar V'Damim V'Damim Nago. Blood, the bloods and bloods will touch. The story begins that Nebuzradan, who was one of the generals of Nebuchadnezzar, came into the Beis HaMikdash, and he saw that there was a pool of blood that was bubbling, and he was told, "This is the blood of Zechariah Navi." Omer Maihai. What is this all about? Omer Lei. So first they didn't tell him whose blood it was. First they said, "Dam zvachim dishtapuch." This is blood of korbanos. Aisud mei v'lo idam. So he bought he brought blood of animals, and he saw that it was not the same color. Amr Lui, I'm recently mutav. You better tell me the truth. I'm going to comb your flesh with hot combs of steel. So I'm relaying. So they said, this is the blood of Zechariah. My name Allah. What should we say? Navi Hava Ben Hava Kamuchachlan B'mili Dishmai. He was a Navi who was amongst us, who warned us that if we don't reform our ways, there's going to be a calamity. Kamina Naloi v'Katlinale, and we killed him. V'Kameshani lo kanayach dame, and his blood has been sitting here boiling for years, and continues to boil. Armelahu anam afaisnale. The Vuzradin said, "Oh, I'll quiet this blood down." I see Sanhedrin Gdolev Sanhedrin Ketana Kotelalai. He brought the Sanhedrin and the big ones and the small ones and killed them near the and tried to get their blood to mix with Zechariah's blood to calm it down, velona. And the blood didn't stop bubbling. He brought Bachorim Uvsulos Koteliloi. He brought young boys and girls, killed them, velona. And it didn't calm down. I see Tinoikashal Beis Rabban. He brought the Cheder children, Kotelalayu, velona. Amrlei. So the Vuzradin said, Zechariah, Toivim Shabani Badatem. I've killed the best of your people. Nichlacha Davdina Lakula? You want me to kill the rest of them? Kida Amrlei Hachi, when the Vuzradin, said that to the blood, nah. The blood quieted. So, Bahi Shaita, Hiro Tshuva B'daite. Nuvuzradin had a Hiro Tshuva. Umayim Nefesh Achas. You see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for one person, Kach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is taking revenge against Yisrael who killed Zechariah. Ahu Gavra, me, the Kotel Kohanim Nishmas, I killed 2.1 million plus 900, I killed 3 million people. Allah has come v'kama. How much will my punishment be? Arak Azal Shadar Star Partusa Bevesa Vagaya. He gave a testament how to distribute his estate, and he became Jewish. Tana, there's a Mishnah, Naaman, who was the general for the Melech Aram, for the Aramean king, Ger Toishavite. He became like he didn't take all the mitzvahs, he took the Sheva mitzvahs only. But Nevuzradin Ger Tzedekai. But Nevuzradin became a full-fledged Jew. And now the Gemara tells us, Mivnei Bonav Shel Haman, Lamdu Tor Bivnei Bra. Great-grandchildren of Haman of Russia studied Torah in Bnei Bra. Mivnei Bonav Shel Sisra, who was defeated by Devorah and Aviyah, Lamdu Tinoikas Yerushalayim, taught Cheder in Yerushalayim. Mivnei Bonav Shel Sancheriv, who in 702 BCE, he was the king of Assyria, and he took the 10 tribes captive. Lamdu Torah Barabim, they taught Torah publicly. Who were they? Man Inu, the Rabbeim of Hillel, Shmai Vavtoyu became the Nasi and the Av Bezdin. They were descendants of Sancheriv. And this issue with the blood of Zechariah, I know to receive, Nosati is Dama al Tzach Yisela Levilti Aksos. I'm going to put blood on the stone that will not be able to cease. They say that there were there are Balich, descendants of SF officers, of Nazis that have now, converted to Yiddishkeit along the same vein.
If how come some of the nations there were Lo Yovo Bakal Hashem, and yet we allow these to come in?
Yeah, but
Certain nations.
Sancheriv was Mabalbel all the nations. So the dinim of Ammoni and Moavi after Sancheriv is not. We don't know who the people are. It's been mixed up. We don't know who an Ammoni is, or an Amaleki is, or a Moavi is, or a Mitzri is. We don't know that anymore. They say that if somebody acts like an Amalekite, like the Nazis, that they were from Amalek because they committed Amalekite acts. It's not a racial thing anymore. It's more a behavioral thing. But it's not like we have any dinim that we can't marry them, because those dinim of Moav and Ammoni and Mitzri after Sancheriv was mixed up the people. It's not so clear who everybody is. Then it says Akol Kol Yaakov Va'yadayim Yidei Esav. When Yaakov came in dressed up with the furs that Rivka told him that you should dress up like Esav to steal the brachos, and Yaakov spoke to his father Yitzchak. Yitzchak said, I hear the voice of Yaakov, but the hands are the hands of Esav. So the Gemara darshans, Hakol Ze Adrinus Keser. He was one of the Caesars, Hadrian, that brought about a lot of crying. Shoharag Belexander Shal Mitzrayim, Shishim Ribo al Shishim Ribo. 600,000 plus 600,000, I would assume, 1.2 million. The Hadrian persecutions occurred 135 CE with the revolt of Bar Kokhba. And when so this is 65 years after the destruction of Yerushalayim by Titus and the Roman legions at that time. I guess Hadrian, there was a large Jewish community in Alexandria, and he killed a massive amount of people there, like 1.2 million Kiflaim Kiyotz Mitzrayim. Kol Yaakov, Ze Aspianus Keser. That's Vespasian, who was the general initially surrounding Jerusalem, but then Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, when he prophesied that he would be or told him he was the emperor, and Vespasian went back to Rome, and Titus, his son, completed the destruction of Jerusalem. But before Vespasian got there, Harag b'krach Beitar Arba Meos Ribo. He killed 400,000 Jews in Beit.
Billion. It says 4 billion.
Oh yeah, Arba Meos, 400 times 10,000, 4 million. Va'amri law Arba Salafim Ribo, 40 million. What do you want me to say? Vayadayim Yidei Esav, Zumalchus Arshah, that's Rome. Sheikh Rivas Batenu destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. The Sarfa Sechalenu, the Glisanu Meretzeinu, and took us into exile. Davar Achar Kol Kol Yaakov, Ein Lecha Tefila Shemo Eles She'ein Ba Mizar Shel Yaakov. A tefillah never works unless some descendant of Yaakov is participating in that tefillah. And Vayadayim Yidei Esav, Ein Lecha Milchama Shenotzeches She'ein Ba Mizar Shel Esav. No battle is won unless on the winning side is some kind of descendant of Esav. Hainu Dom Rabbi Lozer, B'shot Loshon Techabe, pasuk in Iyuv, B'chirchuche Loshon Techabe. Fighting that occurs because of Lashon Hara. People have to hide. Al Naros Bavel, on the rivers of Babylon. Sham Yashavnu Gam Bachinu B'Zachrenu Sion. The pasuk in Tehillim. Melamed She'arei HaKadosh Baruch Hu LeDavid Churban by Rishon Churban by Sheni. HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed b'nevuah to David HaMelech the first and second Beis HaMikdash destroyed. Churban by Rishon Shneimar Al Naros Bavel Sham Yashavnu Gam Bachinu, because the Jewish people were taken into exile to Babylonia. By Yesheni Dichsiv Zechor Hashem Livnei Edom. Now Rome is Edom. Es Yom Yerushalayim Ha'oimrim Oru Oru Ara Yisodba. That the Romans destroyed Jerusalem. Amr Yidam Shmuel V'Tamer Avami. V'Ami Lo B'Masnisatan. Some say it's in the Mishnah. Ma'isa Barba Me'as Yoladim V'Yolada Shenishbu L'Klon. 400 boys and girls. They were taken prisoner to serve in houses of prostitution. The Yergishu Batzman Lamayim Vakshi. They sort of got a feeling they knew where they were going to be taken. Amru, Imanu Toivim Bayam Anuban L'Chaylam Abba. If we kill ourselves, they asked, are we gonna be Zoicha to Chaylam Adam Abba? So Darsh Lamagodol Shaban, there was a Talmid Chacham among them who said, Amr Hashem mi Bashan Ashiv Mimtzulos Ya. And he darshed, mi Bashan Ashiv mi Ben Shine Aryeh, from the mouth of the lion, Ashiv Mimtzulos Ya. I'm going to return those that are in the depths of the sea. Elu Shetovim Bayam. Somebody, L'Shem Shamayim, they drown themselves as L'Shem Shamayim because they don't want to do znus. They'll be sick. Kivan Sheshami Yolada's kaf. The children heard this. Kafsu kulav v'naflu tachayam. They all jumped into the ocean. Nasi Yoladim kal v'chomer batzman. Ma lo shadarkum l'kach. It means the girls, they are fit for relations. Kach, and that's what they're doing, not to come. Anu shein darkin l'kach, meaning boys, they're not usually set up for relations. I mean, it's going to be shalom kedarka. It's going to be anal. Alachas kama v'kama, that we shouldn't allow that to happen. Afheim kotsim l'tachayam. So they've jumped into the water too. Alema kotsu vomer. This is why it says in pasuk, Ki alecha ragnu kol hayom nechshavnu ketzon tivcha. It's a pasuk in Tehillim. Rav Yehuda Omar says that pasuk goes for something else. Isha v'shiva banel, a woman and her 7 children that died al kiddush Hashem. Itziavu kamal kamei. So they brought one of the sons in front of the Caesar. Amrle plach lavodazar. Davin, bow down to this idol. Amrlu, kosavat anochi Hashem elokecha. I can't bow down to the idol. 10 commandments say, Hashem is the Lord our God. Avku v'katlu, they took him out, they killed him. Itzyavu li'idich l'kamei. They brought the brother in front of the Kesar. Amrle plach lavodazar. And they said, worship Amrlu ksobatar lo yelach alokim achim alponai. Avku v'katlu, they killed him. Azra le'idich, they brought the third brother. Amrle plach lavodazar. Amrlu ksobatorah zovech lelokim yacharon. Whoever will worship zovech lelokim, whoever worships a false idol will be destroyed. So I can't do it. Avku v'katlu. They took him out and killed him. Asvi le'idich, they brought the fourth. Amar le plach lavodazar. Amar luksu b'tor lo sishtacha v'le'alacher. Avku v'katlu, they killed him. Asivoli, they brought the fifth. Amar le plach lavodazar. Amar lu kazbator shma Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Avku v'katlu, they killed him. Asvi le'idich. Amar le plach lavodazar. Amar luksu b'torah. Pasuk that we lane today in v'kisolid banim uvnei banim, the laning of Tisha B'av. V'yadat hayom v'shevos al vavecha. Ki Hashem Elokim Bashamai mimal v'alash mitachas ein o. Afkiv v'katlu, they killed. Asavilidik, they brought the seventh. Armele prach levodazar. Armelu ksuba toras Hashem hemarta yom. Vashem emir chayom. For nishbal HaKadosh Baruch Hu shein anu mavirin also be'alacher. We're not going to change our God with a different God. Vafu nishbal lanu shein mavir sanu be'uma acheres. And he's not going to choose another nation. He was the youngest. And the Caesar had Marchmanis on him. He wanted to figure out a way that he shouldn't kill him. Armalei Kaisar, Ishtale Gushpecha. I'm going to throw you my ring. Gochin v'shakle, go pick it up. And the people around will say, oh, he's accepted at least the instruction of the king. Armalei. So the child cursed him. Woe is to you. That you want just for your own covet. I'll covet Kadosh Baruch Hu that I would never do it. So they took him out to kill him. So the mother said to the Romans, let me kiss him before he's killed. So she said to the child, Bonai, my children, go tell in Oilam HaEmes, go tell the father Avram, you brought one of your sons, Yitzchak, to the Akedah, I brought 7. And Afi also lagag v'naflo mesu. She also went up to the roof, threw herself off, and died. Yatsa baskal v'amra ema banim smecha. That's what David HaMelech was referring to when he says that the mother of the sons was happy. Rav Yeshua ben Levi Omar, that the pasuk ki alecha haragnu kol hayom zu mila shenitna be'ashmini. This refers to the bris milah, which is done on the 8th day, and blood is spilled for the bris. Rish Lakish Shamar, that pasuk refers to Eilu Talmidei Chachamim shemarin halachos shchita b'atzman, that when they teach hilchos shchita, they show on themselves how you do the shchita. And sometimes they wound themselves. Shamar Rav Komila lechzei inshi b'nafshei. And when you teach, you should always show on yourself what you're talking about. Bar mishchita v'davar acher, except for shchita and having sexual relations, because that you really can't show. That the pasuk ki alecha ragnu kol hayom is elu talmidei chachamim shememisin atzman al divrei Torah. It's said in a euphemistic fashion. That means it's not real. It means the talmidei chachamim who study, they die and study. That means they give themselves up almost to misa in studying Torah. Reish Lakish, Reish Lakish, ein divrei miskaimim el v'misha me'misatz ma'aleim. Torah will not be preserved except for somebody who's willing to die for it. Shenemer zosa Torah adam ki amus ba'oel. The pasuk that talks about tumas oil, they darshan to say that Torah has to be learned by somebody willing to die for it, in terms of the effort that he puts in. He gets weak.
Yes, mommy.
Amar Rav Chanan Rav Yochanan. Arboim sok tzutei tefillah nishu nimtzu barosh aruge beitar. They found 40 sa'a of tefillin on the heads of the people that were killed in Beitar. It means they were killed with their tefillin on. Rabbi Yanai, Rabbi Shmuel, Amar Sholish Kupa Shel Arboim, so more. 3 boxes of 40 times 40 saw. The Masnisa Tan Arboim Kupa Shel Sholish saw. Lo pliki adoration adadar. There was no marchlokas. This referred to tefillin of the head. This refers to tefillin of the arm. Aravasi Arba Kabin Moyach Nimtzal Evan Achas. They found 4 calves of brains on one stone. Ula Amar Tisha Kav, it was 9 calves. Arav Kana Vitemi Shel Bar Mari Maikra Bas Bavel Ashduda Ashrei Shishalim Loch Ashrei Shiyoches V'Nifetz is a Solayich Lasela. It refers to children's brains because they're very small, but there were so many of them that they led to a large amount. Bnei Tzion Yikarim, the children of Zion, precious ones, Hamesulaim Bapaz. It's a pasuk in Eicha. What does that mean? My Mesulaim Bapaz. It means, normally it means that they are covered with gold. There were 2 weights of this paz that came to the world. One was in Rome, the rest was in the rest of the world. So they couldn't have covered all the Bnei Yerushalayim with paz. Ella, they were beautiful. Mesulayim bapaz means achi maganim esapaz biyoifim. That means they praised how handsome they were. The important Roman people would put a picture, they would hang a picture of these beautiful children over their beds so that when they had relations, they would have children as handsome as them. But mikan ve'elech, but once they took all these captives, no, they had these handsome young Jews tied to their beds, and when they had relations, they would have they were so beautiful, they would look at them, but they didn't look at their tmuna, they looked at them themselves. So there were 2, one of the kinnis describes what the Gemara is going to now say. There were the 2 kids that were there. One said to the other, Hey Siva, this tsar that we're in, where is there a remez for it? Amarle, Gam kol choli v'chol makeh asher lo kosu v'sefer Torah sos. In the Tochacha it says, the Tochacha lists every disease and every makkah, but even those things that have not been mentioned will also happen. Kama marchakta meduchta plan. Look how far we are from what we learned in yeshiva. But I remember. Amar le ingid pustu palga. Oh, go to a few daf later in the Torah, you'll see another pasuk. Amar le mati lagabe lo itzrachalei. I would have understood that it was related to that pasuk. Amir Amar Shlomi Shemrav Shem Megamliah. My dichsiv eini ololol nafshi mikol b'no siri. Arba meos patik nesius aybekrach beitar. There were one of the things that happened on Tisha B'av is Beitar was destroyed. So there were 400 shuls in Beitar. Each shul had 400 cheder teachers. Each cheder teacher taught 400 children. When the Romans came in there, they stabbed them with the reeds of the pens that they were using. When they completely finished destroying the city, they wrapped up all these children with their books and burnt them all. Rabbi Yeshua went to Rome. A beautiful child in prison. This is after the Churban. Beautiful eyes, handsome. He has long hair. So Rabbi Yeshua went to the prison. Omar. Mina son l'meshisa Yaakov Yisrael l'bozuzi. Who gave Yaakov to the enemies? Ana so tinok v'amar. So the child was in there and heard it. He finished the pasuk. Halo Hashem zu chatanu lo v'lo avu b'drachacha. We sinned to Hashem. We didn't follow His way. V'lo shamu b'sorasa. Oh, so the child remembered the pasuk. Omar uftachani bo she'amoira Rabbi Yisrael. I'm convinced that if this child had an opportunity, he would be a big Rosh Hashiva, because he's a big Chacham now. Ha'avodah she'eni zaz mikan ad shevdenu b'chol moment shel poskim alav. I'm not leaving here until I redeem him for whatever money they ask. They redeemed him. It wasn't very long until he was paskening in Yisrael. Manu Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, the great Tana Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. We sing the song. Omar Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. He was a kohen, and we sing that song that he had a vision of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Now, this is the story that's related in one of the kinnis that we laid this morning. Son and a daughter of Yishmael ben Elisha. Two Romans had taken each one of them prisoner. They were brothers and sisters, but the two Roman owners came together in one place. One said, I have a male Jewish captive. There's no more handsome than him in the whole world. The other one said, I have a Jewish girl. There's no one more beautiful. Let's marry them. And we'll divide their children. But it's a brother and a sister. So they put them in a room. One was in one corner. The other was another corner. I'm a Kohen, the son of Kohanim Gdolim. Esa Shivcha? How can I live with a Shivcha? Your Kohen's not allowed to live with a Shivcha. I'm a female Kohen, the son of the Kohen Gdolim. And Nasi Lev. Ubachu kol alayla. And they cried a whole night. Kivin shalom ad-ashachar. Ikirud zed zeh. They recognized each other, brother and sister. Naflu zel zeh v'go b'vchiat sheyetzi ad sheyetzi nishmasim. And then they cried until their souls left them. V'aleim koden Yirmiyahu. This is what in Eicha we say, al eilani bochia. Eini yordamayim. It's for this that I cry. Amresh Lakish. Ma'isa b'shachas v'tzafnas bas papni al shma. There was a woman, her name was Tzafnas. Tzafnas, I called Tzafim b'yofet. She was called Tzafnas as a nickname because everyone would stare at her because of her beauty. Bas Pniel, because Bito shel Kohen Gadol shel Shemesh l'fnai v'lifnim. She was the daughter of the Kohen Gadol who performed the avoda in front of Kale. Shenis alal ba shavai kol alayim. She was being raped the whole night. L'machil bisha shiva chalukim v'otzia l'machla. They put on 7 veils to take her out to sell her. An ugly man came. Amrlo harenius yoifia. So he wanted to see her, show me her beauty. Amrlo Reka, imata rotzeh likach, you want to buy your kach. Shein ki yafeh b'cholam kulo. There's no one more beautiful. Amar la'afal pichein, I still want to see her. If Shita Sheshes Chaluk, and they took off the 6 veils. Ushvi Karasa, she tore the 7th by herself. Vinispal Shabefer, and she fell to the dirt. Amr Lafana, she was like speaking to Hashem, Ribbon Shalom. Im aleinu lo chasta, if you don't have mercy on us, al kedusha shmecha gibor lama lo tachus. Why such a chilul Hashem? V'aleh koinen Yirmiyo basamich chagri sak. This is in Yirmiyah. Ispalshi ba'efer evel yachid asilecha mispe tamrurim ki pitom yavo ashodid aleinu. Alecha lo nemar el aleinu kivyachal allied in the sense the bushas on HaKadosh Baruch Hu ve'alayich ba'ashodid, and the murderer is jumping on HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mishtatef b'tzar, and his name is being mizbazeh. Armi Yehuda Marab, my dichsiv v'arshku gevru v'eso v'ish nachlaso. Ma'isa b'nechat shnosnen v'eshes rabba. A man put his eyes on the wife of his master. V'shoya denagriava, he was a carpenter. Pamachas hutzrich lilvos, his master had to borrow money. Amar lo, shagar ishtachet sli velvena. Send me your wife, I'll give her the money. Shigar ishtachet slo, shoyima shloshim. He had relations with her for 3 days. Kadamu va'etzlo. So there was the student and the master craftsman who had taught him to be a carpenter. So the student went to the master. Amar lo, the master said, Ishti, and I guess it was the wife of the master that he had abused. Ishti shishikart l'chayechad, where's my wife? Amar lo ani patricisa la'alter. I sent her back right away. V'shamati shatinoikas esalu b'badera. And she was raped on the way. Amar lo ma'aseh. What should I do? Amar lo matashamel atzosi karsha, divorce her. Amar lo ksuvasa maruba. I have to pay a lot of money for a ksuba. I don't have the money. Amar lo ani alvacha. I'll loan you the money, and this saying la ksuba, and you can give her the ksuba. Amar zevikarsha. Halachu. This Talmud went and married her. V'nasa. Even she gives mano. The debt had to be repaid. The master didn't have to pay back. You have to be my servant. So this husband and wife would eat and drink, and this former husband had to serve them. And tears would fall from his eyes because they haven't fallen into the cups. And I guess this happened. These were Jews that did this to each other. The army law means because of Eishasish, adultery. Okay, and this is where we left off by the Sikrikun. Now we finished. By the way, I just want to conclude that we talked about the Chilul Hashem, the Chilul Hashem. So Rabbi Sugarman, Marvin Sugarman, was my 5th and 6th grade Rebbe in Hillel. He was the assistant rabbi to Rabbi Dolgan. Then he became the rabbi at Shaarei Tzedek in the valley. He was the rabbi in Shaarei Tzedek for over 30 years. He moved to Israel. He passed away not that long ago. He used to be my patient as well. In his older age, he was my patient. He always came with a sefer. And then he told me that he was in Rav Yoshe Ber Soloveitchik's class in the 1950s. He received smicha from Rav Yoshe Ber. And he, in fact, asked Rav Yoshe Ber if he could tape the shiurim. He went into a whole thing. He would tape some of the shiurim. Rabbi Sugarman told me, so I'll never forget. He said that Rabbi Soloveitchik had a schmooze with the class once and said that you don't know what it was like to be Orthodox and an Orthodox rabbi in 1945, after they started liberating the concentration camps. He said an Orthodox Jew, Orthodoxy was diminishing and diminishing. This was the height of conservative Jewry. Every little suburb had a new temple with a conservative rabbi, and no one saw Orthodox Judaism continuing in America. And then not only that, but the Christian theologians, Rabbi Soloveitchik was involved in non-denominational discussions on certain issues. The Galachs, the priests, the ministers, whenever they would see him, they would say, "We told you, you were a cursed people for 2,000 years. Look what's happened in Europe. It's all coming true. You're a cursed people. And what's supposed to happen to you happened to you." What could Rabbi Soloveitchik say in response? This is him talking to his class. He said, Orthodox Jews had no response to this, none. And the plight of Orthodox Jewry went lower and lower and lower. He said the only thing that saved Orthodox Jewry was 1948, was the creation of the State of Israel. All of a sudden, there was a glimmer that Hashem has remembered his people again. And of course, we know 1967 was even more, that the Baal Tshuva movement began, but it's reminiscent of some of what we talked about, that there was a big Chilul Hashem after the Holocaust, just like what we're describing here and what happened in Rome. But at the end of Tisha B'Av, we're supposed to start. We get up after Chatzos. Some people go to work after Chatzos. The end of the day of Tisha B'Av becomes more Geula focused, more the future focused. And we could see in our own lifetime the creation of the state. Of course, we have problems in Israel now, but we have to think in the big picture that hope for the Geula. The Geula should be a Geula Shlema, without Bachlas, without everything.
By the way,
Yeshikoyacha, big Yeshikoyacha. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
very much.
okay. By the
Yes,
way,
welcome.
Elazar Danga, Johnny sent to the WhatsApp. He sent a video from Rabbi Lapin. You know that I learned with Rabbi Lapin a lot.
Fantastic. I saw
The
it. Was,
machshava there, Ernie. The
Yes.
machshava, you'll see there's a difference between what we think is sinas chinam that's taking place now. In his opinion, is not. And he talked
Sure.
about the first Korban, and you should listen to it because
I'm
it's
going to listen
character.
to it right now.
it's a
Character.
masterpiece. It's a master.
character
It's a
assassination. He's
masterpiece.
unbelievable. You know him, Ron? You know him? Walter, you
Of
know
course,
him?
I learn with him every day.
Oh,
Elazar.
Unbelievable. I
Listen-
love that. I heard
listen
that
to me.
today, and I called
Listen.
everybody else to tell them to
Le-
watch it.
Listen to me for 1 second. I've sent it to Ernie. So he has an app. I think I discussed it with Harold. He has an app, and he has on the app. You can go to the app. It's Rabbi David Lapin. David Lapin. He used to live here in Los Angeles. His father was my Gemara teacher when I grew up in. It was a fantastic. So he's a brilliant guy, and he made Aliyah. He moved to Ranan in Israel, and he
He's
has.
a rabbi now, yeah.
No, he's not a rabbi there. He's in business. He's a businessman.
Oh,
He's a guy that advises major corporations on governance and how to get people to come together. He's a businessman, but he learns a huge amount. His father was a Talmud of Rav Shimon Shkop. You know, Rav Lopin, the one from who was
Rav Lopian, the Lev Eliyahu.
Lev Eliyahu is his uncle. It comes from a very big yichus. Anyway, so he has a thing called Masmoinim on the Daf. So what we discussed now, how this guy really took from his master and screwed him over, and everything he did was lefi alocha. He talked about he didn't do anything that wasn't against the alocha over here. but he was over Ish, but the way he got the wife to become married to him afterwards. So he talked about that sometimes you can do things according to halacha, and at the end you see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Maos, that causes churban. He has Masmonim share on the Daf every day. In the last 3 years, there's over 100,000 people who have listened to that Masmonim share. He's very good, and when you listen to the share, if you listen to Ernie before or after, the share becomes a different share of the way we learn it. And today's share that he gave is just a masterpiece of understanding of where we are, because everybody talks about sinas chinam, and he says, no, this is not sinas chinam.
Everybody forgets the first churban.
Yeah, he compares it, and he's a phenomenal guy. Anyway, guys, we should see the Yeshua should become Bekoro.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Beautiful.